Are you a business owner or employee who needs to network but is terrified of walking into a room full of people you don't know? Are you afraid of being left out of conversations or being awkward in the conversations you do have? Your tour guide, Faithann, is here to walk alongside you through the networking terrain, offering tips and tricks to network with ease. She'll also bring insightful interviews with successful business owners who have used networking to expand their businesses. Building relationships is the heart of networking, and generosity is the cruise ship that will navigate you toward those important relationships for your business or career. Grab your sunscreen and suitcase. Faithann is ready. Are you?
Hello there, and welcome to the Networkers Tour Guide podcast. I am your host, Faithann, and I'm glad you found the show. Networking is providing opportunities for others that they would not have except for you, so that you have standing to ask for opportunities from those same people when you need them. How do we create opportunities for others? And how do we ask for those same opportunities? Well, that's what this podcast is all about. It's what I'm here for. Let's dive into episode 6. This episode is all about referrals for the holidays, which is the article at the Networkers Tour Guide blog at thenetworkerstourguide.net, Tour 47, Referrals for the Holidays. Our Thanksgiving is coming up very soon here in the United States. Referrals can happen as we are having dinner with people that we haven't seen in a while. Holidays are wonderful opportunities to extend gifts to your business friends by listening carefully to what new things are going on in the lives of your family members and suggesting people that might either solve the problems they are facing or enhance the experiences they might be having. You could walk away from Thanksgiving dinner or Christmas Day with referrals to give. Here are 3 things you can do to bring the gift of referrals to those business owners that you know and trust. First, you're going to listen. Listen like a hawk. While enjoying the time with your family, listen to the conversations that are happening around you. Listen for complaining or bragging. Complaints or brags are significant in the lives of those we love. Both represent change, and with change, we often need new problem solvers in our lives. Did your cousin announce after pecan pie that he's getting married? Terrific. How many people now are going to come into his life, albeit temporarily, because of this life change? There's going to be a lot. I can think of 10, but let's just consider 3. Your cousin might benefit from a travel agent who can help him choose a honeymoon location. He might want a lender to help him apply for a house now that he will no longer be a bachelor. He might need additional life insurance. So you can see how though all of those changes that he might be looking to in the future now that his situation has changed is going to bring about different people in his life that he didn't need before. And if you can recommend any of these people, you're going to make your referral partners very happy. Those people you network with that you recommend are going to be so happy that you thought of them. And your cousin or whoever it might be is going to be grateful for a recommendation that they don't themselves have to worry so much about. They don't have to vet, because if they trust you, then they're going to trust your recommendations. Most of the time, it's not a shoo-in, but at least they're going to give it some thought, some careful consideration, and your recommendation is going to carry more weight than an ad would that they might see. Here's another example. Are your grandparents downsizing because they have health changes? Maybe they're going from a 2-story home to a smaller home. So what is that going to bring into their lives now that they need a different home to live in? Several professionals are probably going to be involved in that process. So we're going to listen for life changes, or we're going to listen for people who aren't happy. Maybe your uncle just recently tried to file an insurance claim and the insurance company did not come through like he wanted them to. Well, now's the time when you hear that complaining to pay attention. He might be open now to a quote from a different company that he would not have been open to before this bad experience. So first we're going to listen. Listen for people complaining or bragging or life changes. The next thing we're going to do is ask. So when you become aware of changes that affect those you care about, ask them if they have considered. This is such a great phrase, and I use it all the time. Have you considered? So it's a real soft phrase, And it doesn't put a lot of pressure on the person that you're asking. You're just asking if they've considered. You might say to your cousin who's getting married, "Congratulations, it's wonderful. Have you considered where you're going to be going for your honeymoon? Have you considered using a travel agent to help you plan that perfect destination? Grandma, have you considered hiring a professional moving company to move your stuff so that you don't have to worry about that part of the move? Aunt Lou, have you considered hiring a house cleaner now that you are working all of those extra hours at work?" All of these situations represent change in people's life. And like I said before, they may need new people now in their lives that they didn't before. When my mother was suffering from dementia and my father passed away, I became her primary caregiver. So now all of a sudden, I needed people in her life that we did not need before because my dad was taking care of my mother. So my dad was the one just doing all the things. And then he died. And now, as my mother's daughter and as the power of attorney and the person, now I'm going to be needing things and people that I didn't need before. You may be hesitant to ask your friends or your family members if they've considered using people to help them with these life changes, but it does get easier as you practice asking. And if you're genuine, you genuinely want to help. You don't want grandma to get scammed by a moving company that gives her a really, really low price and then comes the day of her move and takes all of her stuff and holds it hostage. If people are going to be making purchases, you would like to recommend the people that you trust. So it's that genuineness and that authenticity that will come out as you're asking your family members if they've considered using professional people to help them with these life changes.
Hi, listeners. Are you someone who struggles to ask engaging questions at your business lunches? Faithann has put together her list of 10 questions she uses when she is with a business owner over lunch or coffee. These questions build rapport and, more importantly, make that person you're talking to feel seen and heard. Go grab this free resource today by clicking on the questions link in the show notes.
And then the last part is you want to connect. So this is the part where the rubber meets the road. You want to connect your family members with those professionals that you trust if your family members are open to the idea. Again, you have to come across like you're there to help, and everything can't be hanging in the balance of whether or not Uncle Fred is going to be agreeable to talking to your florist. So we don't want to give this vibe of desperation, but we're just genuinely offering help, and it's up to your family members to decline or accept. So a good way to ask permission to connect, that's what we want to do, is ask permission to connect the professional that you trust with the family member who's having that life change. You might say, "Can I have Bob call you or email you tomorrow?" Or whatever time frame makes sense. "Can I have Susan reach out to you next week?" If your family member isn't ready yet to be connected, you could still give them their card. You can pass a business card to them, or you can text the number. "Well, here's her number just in case." Or if you change your mind, you can at least give the information. The best way, though, is to ask the family member if it's okay if the professional that you trust contact them. If they're not ready for that, that's fine. That's okay. Try to connect. Just try to make a connection happen. We get busy and we forget. Uncle Todd may say, "Oh, yeah, I'll call him." And then Uncle Todd forgets after a few beers. He just forgets all about it. So if we can do something to have our professionals call Uncle Todd or email, it's going to be more likely that the referral might actually take place. Now, here's a bonus tip for you as you are around your family for the holidays. Don't forget to plant seeds about your business as well when you are listening to refer others. Maybe a family member's life change will be an opportunity for you to offer your product or service. The important perspective to remember when you are with people you are close to around the holidays is that there are times when big things can happen, or at least when they're announced. Be ready to capitalize, not in a bad way, but in a way that spreads the professionalism and goodwill of those business owners to the people you are closest to. and of course yourself too. Much of this episode came from my good friend Danielle Bailey with Baylet Consulting, as she was the very first person to explain how being around your friends and family members for the holidays can be opportunities for you to bring referrals to those people that you trust. So thank you, Danielle, for that. Well, that wraps up episode 6. Go network, my friend, and remember, business owners love opening referrals for Christmas. Do you have any referrals to give?
You've been listening to the Networkers Tour Guide podcast with Faithann Basore. Share this episode with a friend, and be sure to come back next week for more networking tips and tricks from the Networkers Tour Guide.